Hello, everyone. We're going to give just a little bit more time to allow for more individuals to join. Thank you.
I'm sorry, everybody. I was talking on mute. If someone can chat from the YouTube and let me know that you can hear me, that would be helpful. Thank you. So I'm going to give a little bit of time for others to join. Okay, for those who just joined in, we're just going to give a few minutes for others to join in. Just about another minute or so. And I will start again.
Dana, did we receive the confirmation from YouTube?
Yes, we did.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start. And thank you for all the applicants who are attending today. This is the Community Zoning Information Meeting, short CZIM. Today is Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. So if you would like to have provide questions or comments to our applicants, please direct your comments or questions to planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov, and your comments or questions will be read from that email address. So rezonings will be heard on October 19th by the Planning Commission, and their vote, which is either approval or denial, will be forwarded to the council for November 9th for their read and final approval. Our variances will be heard on October 21st by the Zoning Board of Appeals. So our first petition is Z21005, a rezoning located at 0 Campbellton Road and 0 Camp Creek Parkway. It is catty corner to the new Publix shopping center, which is at Camp Creek in Campbellton. They are requesting a rezoning from sub A, R3, and AG1 to mixed use. They're proposing townhomes, single-family homes, apartments, and providing commercial retail. This proposal is compliant with the future land use. This slide is showing you our GIS image and showing you the sub A location, the AG1. Oh my goodness, I'm not sharing. I'm sorry. Give me one moment to share. Okay. So this image shows our GIS where we have the sub A, AG1, and R3. And this one is the site plan proposal with single family and townhomes located in this area, apartments that are within these parcels. And this is Campbellton Road, and they're proposing to put the commercial retail along this area. And these are images of examples that they are proposing for the single family, clubhouse, apartments, and the retail area. All right, so I have to check my planning address to locate any questions that we may have. So bear with me for one moment. All right, I do have one person who has a concern by the name of Bashir. The concerns I have about the development at Campbellton and Camp Creek. Having apartments in the plans will create more residential space, but I would rather you consider condos or townhomes. Having either of the two would be better fit for our community. Having condos or townhomes would generate taxes to roll back in the city along with homes and retail space. I would like to address traffic concerns and parking before approving this development. How would you secure a parking area for residents? Would you have a gated parking area with access cards to control crime? Can we consider a security area located inside structure of the development like Midtown Blue, downtown Atlanta? That would include police and security working together 24 hours. Having extra security would deter crime at this development, would attract unwanted persons to the establishment. What is the solution for our area that has a school, congestion and speeding issues already present? While considering this area to develop, why not consider a park instead? A project along the lines of the Atlanta Beltline, to be exact. The development is a great idea, but isn't a good idea for this intersection at Camp Creek and Campbellton Road for retail homes and apartments. So at this point, the applicant for this petition can can answer this person's concerns.
Thanks very much, Dana, and for your summary of the project. My name is Hilliard. I'm with Hilliard Starkey Law. I'm here this evening with the representative of Hutch Development and Mr. Charles Watley, who's also here as a consultant along with me on this project. We're excited to be with you. We have been working on this project for several months. If you, some of you on this Zoom may have been in meetings where we presented, and some of you may be in future meetings. If you know when we began, you know we've been moving to slowly trying to hear every concern and thoughtfully to respond to each of them. Dana, if I don't know if you can pull up the site plan, or should I share pull mine up, or what would be the okay, thank you. As Dana mentioned, this is a 60-acre site developed, but you'll see, and I want to stress that this is probably the 15th or 16th iteration of each time we get a react to it. We try to incorporate it into design. One of the things that we've done acre site, you'll see that there's a great deal of green space. I think 14 acres of the 60 acres is devoted to green space, walking, and interparcel access for pedestrians. They have retail along Campbellton Road, the apart middle there. We also do have townhomes. We propose townhome units. And when the plan began with the single family in the rear, it had less lots that were on larger. Listen to the community asking for smaller, low maintenance but high quality lots that would be appropriate for resident in this community for some time, but may want to relocate to something smaller and more having to leave community. So we're excited to be to double number of units in the same amount of space we had, smaller units that are low maintenance, and we're working through the design so that it's one that represents the nature of the community that already exists there. We've heard mentioned. I'll respond to a couple of the comments that we've heard so we can get questions, but and that there's some concerns about apartments. But one of the reasons why we mixed use design is it gives to have some much needed resources without having to go other that are more dense, and the vision in housing type and size allows for workforce housing. So the people that work in the businesses that are going to be locating here street don't have to get in cars to drive there. So we believe we're providing much needed services in this community, with aiding the type of traffic that comes along with all the vehicles traveling back and forth to the site. Because of the project, it's a project of it's a regional significance. So it's been reviewed by the Georgia Regional Organization, and they've made recommendations. So the traffic improvements with the turnarounds and other things about where our access were based on recommendations from the Georgia Department of I'm sorry. And so that's how that plan came. You'll see the walking trails on the south side site. It was originally proposed by Greta that we include vehicular access from property to the adjacent community of Woodside. That was because it's another technique to reduce the burden by creating interparcels. So if the folks in that community wanted to come to the retail project, they wouldn't have to go out onto Camp Creek or Campbellton Road to get there. But we heard from the community that they didn't want that. We went back and pushed back hard on Greta, and that access point has been reduced now to open access. No, there's continuing concerns about that, and we want to work through every single concern. Thinking about the types of uses that we will absolutely restrict, so you won't have to see or uses that you don't want to include in this project. So we would include conditions that prohibit those uses. We talked about how the access occurs between side and the development, and we're looking at those concerns that the community has voiced about that. The walking trails we've tried the stormwater detention requirements for the site as architectural features that can be a plus to the entire community. The townhomes, if you'll see, we do step from commercial to the higher density multifamily to the townhome family with accessory amenities throughout the property, so that it could be a benefit for the entire community. We did hear concerns about the security, and there's lots of ways that some of the recommendations, the ideas we've incorporated already are traffic calming measures on the roads. We heard concerns about people speed communities and doing other things on the road. So we've created traffic calming throughout easy points of pedestrian access for pedestrians. We're examining how to create the security solutions that all have raised with us, and we consider that a work in progress. I think I'd like to kind of probably stop. I think there were some questions about parking. The parking is, as you can see on the plan, is situated and it meets the requirements of the district. The Sandtown overlay requirements that the community around worked so hard to develop are incorporated as part of this plan, and we plan to that overlay district requirement in every respect. And let me say a little bit something about process, and I'll turn it back to you, Dana, for questions. But we're scheduled based on where we are to go to the Planning Commission later this month. But we've already communicated to the staff that it's our intention for that next hearing. While we've been meeting with the community, there are larger groups, Downtown Association, Woodside, Wind Creek, who we met with informally that have, and our goal is to try to get every question answered. We might not be able to resolve all questions or concerns that you have successfully, but we're committed to give you responses so that we can develop a community here that's what's already there and that everybody here can enjoy. So Dana, I'll turn it back over to you. We can kind of incorporate any other questions.
Okay.
While we got the team here. All right.
Great. I have another question. What is the planned ingress and egress? We do not want entry into the established Woodside Hills department.
So I mentioned earlier that it was a vehicular act was proposed, and that we included that in our plan because that was a recommendation coming out of traffic analysis by Greta. But we've now gone back based on the objections from Woodside and reduced entry access. There have questions about trying to control that access even further, pedestrians. We've seen those questions, and we're thinking about might work or not work, and how. But we're committed to trying to come up with a solution. Everybody's satisfied. We appreciate the concern about people that are in that immediate walking through that community, or to create or to do harm or those kinds of issues. And so we're continuing to look at solutions, try to address those issues.
Okay, I have another question and statement. This plan is not acceptable. We request a traffic study before this project can be properly presented to the city council. Has a traffic study been conducted?
Yeah, and because of the size of the project and the number of units involved, this project was required by law, by state, to go to the Atlanta Regional Commission for a full traffic study. So it's not just it's the full traffic study that mission by the developers. A conceptual plan before the traffic study was completed, and after the traffic study recommendation came back and were implemented as a part of our plan, it shifted a little bit of our plan, and that's all of the points of egress to the site, the terms that are proposed on the site, and where access occurs and how it occurs, are all based on the recommendations that come out of the Georgia Regional Transit Authority. So yes, there is a full traffic study.
Okay, thank you. And just a reminder, if you have any questions or comments, you can email them at planning at cityofsouthfultonga.gov. And we do not have any more questions in that particular email. So I will move on to the next petition. And thank you guys for Z21005 and coming in and attending and answering those questions. We really appreciate you.
Thanks for.
The next petition is Z21013. It is a rezoning located at 6150 Old National Highway. And that is close to Flat Shoals Road, kind of a little across the street from the Walmart, just to give you a proximity. The petitioner requests a rezoning from O&I to C2. O&I is office institutional and C2 is general commercial. And he is proposing an auto brokerage. And this proposal is compliant with the future land use map. And this is an overhead view of where it's located, indicated by the red tag there. And this is where Walmart is. And this is Flat Shoals with the Chevron gas station. I do believe this is a BP. And this shows our GIS, and the property is located right here where the cursor is. And he is neighbored by other O&Is, and behind him is townhome residence, a mixed use AG1, and across the street is commercial. And this is the site plan of that site. The everything is existing, the building is existing. About 14 parking spaces are already there and striped. So if we have any questions for this applicant, which I will check on right now. And there are none. Is the applicant on the line? Mr. Manny?
Yes, sir. This is Manny Cruz. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I hear you. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to present to the community here?
No, other than there will be, will be used as an auto brokerage. So nothing with the property will change. Nothing with the grounds will change. Pretty much everything will stay the same. Only thing, we will have inventory coming and just going. So we do a lot of business with Toro. So we get a lot of airport customers that want cars or renting cars. So there will be no existing inventory staying on the property like a typical auto dealership or a typical brokerage. We pretty much just need everything fine with the license, so we can have, everything fine with the business license, so that we can just run that brokerage. But yeah, there will be no standing inventory, no changes to the building, no changes to the grounds or anything. The building will pretty much stay the same, exactly the way it is now.
Okay, great. I will give the community an opportunity, just a quick moment. If you have any questions, just email them at planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov. Okay, so we do not have any. So thank you, Mr. Manny. We will move on to the next petition, which is a variance. And
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. And this variance is located at 120 Russell Drive off of Demooney Road. The applicant seeks a variance for relief to allow a pool in the front yard. And this is our GIS overhead view. Demooney Road is along where my cursor is moving, and 120 Russell Drive is here. The house is about a quarter mile back, And this is where the house is, next to Camp Creek. This image will show GIS image. They are AG1 surrounded by R3A. So it's pretty significant size lots over in this area. And this is the site plan. So this is the Mooney Road. This is Russell Drive to the house back here. And shaded in blue is the house. And of course, this is around their roundabout. And the pool is being proposed right there. So they're sort of really back here and not seen from the road. So if we have any questions for this particular variance, please send them to planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov. Again, I will give a few moments. If anybody has any questions, they want to email us. Okay. If you think of any questions, you can still email us and we'll do our best to respond to them in a timely manner, to provide information about any of the petitions that have been shown. Our last slide shows the text amendments. The first one is a text amendment to consider an increase to the public notification distance from a 1/4 mile radius to a 1 mile radius from the subject property. So when an individual comes in for a rezoning, modification, use permit, or a variance, part of the requirement is that they have their own public participation meeting. And we as staff will send them a list. Presently, it'll be a list that's a 1/4 mile from basically the center of the parcel, the site for that property. And council has proposed to increase that so that more residents know what's happening in their area. So they want to increase it to a 1 mile radius. The second text amendment is to allow daycares to provide 24-hour service. And with this, will require a special use permit. So when a person has a business and they're providing a service, some of the services are allowed outright in our ordinance, and some require a special use permit. So a special use permit is an application that that person will bring to us, basically asking permission to be able to do a certain thing. So it will go before our planning commission, and mayor and council will have the final decision. So in our ordinance, if you're looking at allowable uses or the uses of a particular zoning, it would have an A for allowable, or it'd have an S for special use permit. So this one, if approved, and a daycare can still do their normal hours, which are usually 6 to about 7, and they are proposing a 24-hour service, this is when they'll have to do a special use permit and go before the planning commission with the final decision from mayor and council. And if we do not have any other questions, this would conclude our CZIM. So I'd like to thank all the petitioners who came in to talk about their project, and all the individuals from the community who chimed in with us. I hope this was very informative for you. Again, if you come up with any questions after this meeting, please feel free to email us at planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov. And we will do our best to respond in a quick and timely manner to provide the answers. If you have comments, then we can forward that information to the applicant so they're aware of the concerns that you have about that particular project.
Dana, if
Again,
possible, will you please remind them of the dates of the meetings, please?
yes,
you.
I will.
Thank you.
Do. Okay, so there's the email address again, planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov. The two rezonings and the text amendments will be heard on October 19th by the Planning Commission, and they are a recommending body, so they will recommend their approval or denial to the City Council, and that meeting is on November 9th. On that day, the council will read and vote on those petitions. The variances, which was one that was located on 120 Russell Road for the pool, will be heard on October 21st by our zoning board of appeals. And they will make the decision outright after they hear the petition. So again, I thank everybody for attending and hope to see you at those meetings.
Thanks, everyone. We appreciate your attendance.
Thank you.